On this video, I take a waterbed and turn it into something else.
This is the Old Guy Network.
Yep. Welcome back to the Old Guy Network. I'm the old guy, the OG, Jay. You know who you are, and if you don't, well, that's your problem. Hey, I usually say it's a beautiful day in the trailer hood, but it's not, because it's nighttime. I'm working now, so I can't do these in the morning all the time. So yeah, it's a little after 10 o'clock at night, and I gotta go to bed soon. So no coffee today. That's why you see no coffee here. But if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, and I'll have it later, just go over to my coffee page. There's a link in the description. It costs a couple of bucks, like $2, and it helps support the channel, and I really appreciate it. So today, we're going to take a waterbed frame that a friend of mine gave me, and we're going to turn it into something else. Now, I started to make 2 garden benches. That's what I wanted to make. That ended up being 2 garden benches plus something else, and I'll explain that at the end of the video and show you everything that I made. But right now, let's get started on how to make 2 garden benches out of an old discarded bed frame, waterbed frame. Yeah, I didn't even know those were still around.
Just shy of 8 feet. It's 7 foot 9 inches, so that'll be decent. We'll do like 3.5 feet wide. I could put a couple of people on it, and they don't have to be quite as strong, but they will be strong. I mean, we're going to try for that anyway. I'm not even going to sand these down. I might sand them later. I'm not going to put them through the planer. I'm just going to cut these down to about 3.5 feet, cut the edges off. I have gathered everything I need for this part of the project anyway. What I have is my speed square, so we can make a nice straight line. I've got my tape measure, so I know how far to make the line, so I can cut it. And I've got my saw, which is all set up. I put a brand new blade on it, so we should be good there. And now we put it right about there. Well, the clamps didn't hold, but we didn't get any tear out. Look at that. Beautiful. Now remember, I'm doing this as I go along. There is no plan. This piece I'm going to use for the sides of each bench, and now I just have to figure out what height I want. So I'm going to measure a bench that I already have, and we'll go with that. So the bench that I have here, I measured it out. It's 16 inches high. This is approximately 1.5 inches wide, or almost 1.75 inches wide. So we can comfortably do 15 inches. And it just so happens that this is 62 inches long. So we need 60 inches, so we've got plenty. We can make 2 sides for both benches with this one board. So I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to move it into the shed, and we'll cut the other on the table saw. And these are going to be the sides for both benches. And they're all the same. Yay! Okay, now we've got to make a a couple of runners for each side. That's going to be 4 runners. They're going to be on here. That's to keep the bench from tipping back. Brilliant! I can clean up the ends, cut them to length, and I can do that using the compound miter saw over here, because they're only 3.5 inches wide now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll get back to putting this all together. The next step is going to be the pocket holes, and then screwing this all together and making the braces for the inside of the underneath of the bench. I've cut these all out to 16 inches. Now I want to put just a little 45 that'll be on the tops of these, and I'm going to show you how I do that. I mean, by now you know how to use your compound miter saw, right? So we want to set this for 45 and lock that in. Now we want all of them to be at the same place, so what we do is we figure out where I want to do it. Now I take a pencil and mark right on the fence. Use a pencil because it comes right off. But I mark right on that fence. That way I know the next cut, I just line this end up to that, and it's going to be in the same place. Look at that. Beautiful. Now we have all our pieces for one bench, and I have the other pieces for the other bench elsewhere. But one bench at a time, right? So we've got our sides, we've got our top, and we've got our stabilizers. That's what I'm going to call it. Those are going to go at the bottom. All we have to do now is drill the pocket holes and get this thing ready to put together. There is another piece that we're going to make, though. Actually, 2 pieces per bench, but we're going to do that last, and that's a very, very important part. Do not put this bench together unless you have the braces that we're going to make, and we'll do that dead last. Right now, let's do the pocket holes. So the stock is 1.5 inches, so we're going to set this at 1.5 inches depth. I already have done that. And we're going to use this twice. We'll do 2 holes here. We'll move it over, do 2 more holes here. We'll do that on each side. We're going to change the depth on this too to 1.5. You can see it in the little window right there. It's 1.5. And that's going to put it right about there. That's going to be nice. That'll work. Put 2 screws in each side, so there'll be 4 screws holding that up to the top. And then you want to do them on both sides, because remember, we're going to put a brace right here, and that's coming up. We have our pocket holes all done, so now we take this off, and we're going to put this bit on, and that's our driver bit, and one of our 2.5-inch screws. I'm going to put this right up to the edge. Now, let's do it this way. Over here, and over here, because we've got an edge in here. This is routed out here, this is routed out here, so it'll kind of look like we did that on purpose, but I didn't. I've already done one side, this side right here, and I thought the camera was rolling, but it wasn't. It ran out of room on the SD card, so I'm going to show you how I did this. I'm going to try this without even using the clamps. And that was a mistake. Yeah, it's off just a little bit. I should have clamped it, but I clamped the other one. That came out pretty good. It's not exactly flush on that side, but hey, cheap ass bench. That's what we're making today. Now, we have to have supports. Right now, that's on there pretty rugged, and I could put these on like that and call it good, but I'm not going to do that because I want to make sure that if somebody's sitting on this and they move from side to side, that these don't buckle. So we're going to do that by taking some other material that I have left over, and we're going to make some triangles. I made the triangles out of the 2x4 that I had, that I created with some of the other material I had from this waterbed. And they don't have to be very big, they just have to be in the corner, just like a little fillet right there. And we'll put one here, we'll put one on the other side. Pre-drill a pilot hole first. So we're going to do that first. We're going to put a pilot hole here, one here, do it on the other one, and then we're going to use some decking screws that I have, and we'll attach them. You can use glue too. I think I will put a little bit of glue just to make sure that they stay in place. Make sure if you use glue, you use an outdoor glue, one that's waterproof. And just put on a little glue. It doesn't have to be spread on there real nice and fancy, because it's just basically holding it in place. It's giving us a little bit more traction. Now that is nice and rugged. So let's figure out where we want to put this. Right there. Remember, I got those channels there, so I'll put one right there. Do I have my little marker? I don't. That's all right. It's soft wood. And I'll put another one right there. And no, I didn't even bother putting glue on it, because I may want to take these off and do something else. Now, these are not pressure treated. This is just softwood, which means this is going to be out in the elements. You're going to want to do something to it. You're going to want to cover it with something. Paint, polyurethane, whatever. Now, if you want to, we can actually put a couple of more on here. It's very easy now that it's attached. So if we go, let's put one more in the middle. Why not? Redundancy is good. Just don't have them too close together, because it will cause more stress on the wood and it'll split. I have my little bench on the ground, and keep in mind that this shop does not have a flat floor. This floor is not very straight. But all I do is I know that one side of this is attached and the other side isn't. So this side over here isn't attached. So we lay that down. And we attach it while it's flush to the ground. They are reasonably stable. Actually, they're very, very stable. It's just, oh, my ground is lumpy. And you can make these a little prettier. You could make an overhang on each side if you wanted to. You can put the braces on the outside. The stabilizers there, you can put those on the outside. But I kind of like the look of it. That's how you take a waterbed and turn it into 2 benches.
And that's not where it ends. After I finished the benches, I brought one of the benches over to show the people who gave me the wood in the first place, and they really liked it. But more importantly, their little girl, she's 5 years old, she's cute as you can imagine. She really liked the bench, and I thought, you know, you guys should have these benches for her. Plus, she needs a table. They need to have a table with this. So I took the other long piece of wood, I cut it in half. Well, cut it to 3.5 feet each side, and put little braces on them, then made the legs. And now they have a nice little table and chair. And as you can see, I mean, look at that. That looks pretty good. And I took the little feet, little stabilizers that I made for the benches, and I put them on the outside. That way they kind of wrap around the legs of the table. So that came out good. I didn't get any video building the table because literally it took me 15 minutes to make this thing. And well, this video is long enough already. So that's what I did with an old waterbed. You can do stuff like this too. I got to use my pocket jig, which I'm really thrilled about. If you haven't used one before, buy one. They're like 40 bucks. And they'll really change your life. You can do really nice joinery with it. And I'm going to make some cabinets and stuff with it, and I just can't wait to do more. So that's going to do it for this project. It took about 2 hours start to finish, and I think that's pretty good. And we used recycled wood. What's better than that, right? I didn't have to pay for it, and I just gave it away anyway. But that's going to do it for me, the old guy, the OG, deep in the trailer hood. Glad you spent some time with me, and I hope you do come back again. For the Old Guy Network, I'm out.